Surf's up, guys, it's Mauisnake here, and today we're going to go over the Blastfall groups using Leetify stats, and we're going to compare and contrast them with the HLTV stats that came out of this event. So the first thing we're going to look at over here is how the HLTV stats shape up for the top 15 players at the Blastfall groups. We can see that Nico's on top, Device, Leash, Hampus, One thing that we can take of note from this is that a lot of these players are stars, and a lot of these players are also pretty aggressive. So let's see how that changes when we look at the Leetify stats. And now when we look at the Leetify stats, we see a lot of the same names, but we see a couple players who kind of maybe slipped their way in. And so the way you can read this chart, as I've cut it out here, is that you obviously have the player, you have the team, you have the kills, assists, deaths, ADR, flash assists, average Leetify rating. We keep going to the right. We got their Leetify ranking, so where they would, rank in terms of their Leetify score amongst all the players at Blast. And then what we have is their HLTV rating, and then what their rank was on the via HLTV metrics. And then we have the amount that they changed, that they could have moved up or down when you compare HLTV to Leetify. So what we see immediately is that Simple is on the very top of the Leetify ratings, and yet he was ranked 6 by HLTV. So some other players to look at include the support players, in air quotes. You got Mauisnake, Esatag, and Perfecto, and all of those players moved up a handful of slots. And Perfecto was a player who I casted every single game of theirs. I casted every Navi game. I watched everything he did. And Perfecto won them games. He won them maps. His smoke usage, the way he was mowing down pushes, and his clutches on top of that were excellent. Exceptional, in fact. And so to move him up 8 slots feels fair in that the impact that he had in those games was incredibly high, because some of those games, Navi, or the rounds especially that he did well, Navi were not in positions to win them, and he brought those rounds into Navi's favor, and in fact closing them out on his own. And so I have sorted the list based off of their HLTV Leetify ranking move up or move down. And so we're going to look at the big winners and the big losers, starting with the big winners. So we've got over here, there we go, Sursin. We got Sursin here at number 1, biggest winner. He moved to the 5th ranked spot via Leetify's ranking, and he moved up 23 spots. That's pretty incredible, honestly. And it's deserved, because Big qualified for the finals. They didn't really have anybody that was in the top 10 or so, but Sursin was clearly impactful when we watched him play, and he was clearly a player that was doing more, probably more than what the stats said in terms of HLTV stats, because you don't beat G2 in a super big upset and have some of the most impactful rounds without having she should have good stats, right? But HLTV kind of didn't give him the best stats, 1.04. But then, this is where Leetify stats get a little weird. We've got Spellin and we've got Daps, and yet they came in last place. They still didn't have a great overall Leetify ranking. They were negative if you look at the average of their Leetify ratings over here. But what gave them stats was flash assists. And what we're going to see is that a few of these players who are more support types are actually getting boosted pretty generously because of how much they're helping their team in terms of flashes. Just look at number 4 here. We've got Montu. And Montu, he didn't have the most stellar game by, an Opera standards with a 1.03 HLTV rating, but look at his flashes. 28%. That's crazy. He actually went crazy. It's just that in terms of moving up and moving down, he already had a decent enough HLTV rating, so it's not as drastic. But where for people like Spellin and Daps, who threw a ton of good flashes, they moved up because they didn't frag. They frankly did not kill people. So to remind people, Leetify uses a different type of flash assist rating than just what you see in game, because the in-game one is actually bad. It's actually flawed, and sometimes you'll see people that are flash and they don't have a blind icon on them, and sometimes it's not great. Okay, it's not perfect. I'll just say that. Valve didn't. It's great that they added that feature to the kill feed, but it didn't actually nail it, I'll say. So I want to just explain to you guys that the way that Leetify does it is that they display on average enemies killed while affected by the flashbangs, but they had to be blinded for more than 1.1 seconds or more. I don't know. It's a number they came up with, and it's a little bit better than just someone getting like half blind, which happens on the Valve scoreboard or something. I don't know. Either way, they measure it using in-game metrics that can tell how long a person is flashed, like that, and that in itself shows that it's better than a half blind. Anything less than 1.1 seconds is what they call half blind, and we've all kind of seen that before if we've played the game. So what we're going to look at here is a live round example of how Simple destroys FaZe with nothing but a deagle, and how the 5v5 situation breaks down using Leetify's rating, and how many points are really gained based off of all of the little interactions that happen in the round. So try to follow this chart as you watch the round unfold. Navi don't have too much to work with in this round, so FaZe can bring the scoreline even closer unless Simple does that.
What is he doing? What's happening? Why is he just the Terminator walking in, shooting people?
Yeah. He's saying whatever FaZe can do, he's going to do it better.
He just made it look so casual. Like he was just
walked into the angles.
Just on a stroll. Bit is creeping back, and with the AK going to be taking a kill, and also either one way or the other, he was going to die. Rain, it was perfecto from lower dark that ended up killing him, and it's Simple with a third headshot of the round.
So let's talk about what we just saw and how that affects the rating. Na'Vi had an 11% chance to win the round according to Leetify's rating because of their economy. They were on pistols. And so Kerrigan's opener onto electronic didn't really change much of the outcome in the eyes of Leetify. It was already a very low chance. He pushes it down to a 4% chance for Na'Vi by getting that kill. So in turn, that gives him 7.4% rating. That's a positive rating for Kerrigan. Simple had those 2 response deagle kills, and that's where things get fun, because then their chance of winning the round goes from 4% to 17% in that first kill that Simple got. And that's when he gains a 13% rating gain. And then the second kill he got onto Twist made their chances go from 17% to 48%. That is one of the biggest kills of the round, because Simple making it a 4v4, you know, that's fine, that's even. But then a 4v3, okay, that's a kill that should matter. That's a kill that we saw like turns the tide completely. And then Bit, when he kills Kerrigan later, that's when it seals the deal. That's when the round is basically done and dusted, and he gets rewarded heavily for that kill. Should that kill get more than Simple's third kill, or second kill, I mean? Maybe, maybe not. But that's why Leetify maybe, you know, they're changing the stat. It's still a work in progress. But then we see the last 2 kills, very low impact, honestly. When Perfecto kills Rain, like he gets a 10% rating increase. And then that final BM kill from Simple when he jumps down, that only increases his rating by 1%. So we can see, based off of Leetify stats, that not all kills are weighted equally. And that's good to know. That's good to know because, first of all, it includes economy. Second of all, it includes the round state and situation. So these things matter in Leetify's rating. So what does this mean for you, and how can you use Leetify in your own games? Well, head over to their website using the link that I put in the description. It is my referral code for Leetify, and you guys will see your Faceit games being uploaded once you integrate your Faceit profile into their website, and you can see just how well you're doing based off of the Leetify stat versus the HLTV stat versus your kills and deaths in ADR. This is basically like Dota buff for Counter-Strike, but even better because you actually get an additional stat that they came up with that is actually shown from what we just saw, that it can be measured, a good way to measure impact, you know, and that's pretty cool. So this is how a Leetify page looks for you. This is actually a beta. Recent games in the last, I guess this is 30 games I've played. So 1911, you know, it's got a lot of cool stats here. HLTV rating 1.4, KD 1.47. Yes, I own. My ADR is 103. This is at Faceit level 10, by the way, in Europe, where ELO is inflated. Yes, you guys in Europe right there, you guys think your ELO is so good because it's 3 point whatever K. Honestly, in NA, that would probably be 2K. Yes, I'm calling you all out. And let's just scroll down, though. Let's just scroll down before I hurt anybody's feelings any more than I have. We've got here the opening duels, best weapon, 5v4 round win conversion, 4v5. You know, there's a lot of cool stats on here, and they've also got their utility stats. And I can see in the last 30 games also that my flashbangs are ownage. My enemy's flash per flashbang is average. This stat's fake. No, I'm just kidding. It's probably fine, honestly. I just throw random flashes occasionally. But I do pretty well with a lot of grenades. But I don't always throw my nades, and I don't always stop my nades with smokes. That's because I throw tactical grenades to help my teammates. But it's actually something I should probably look at. And that's why Leetify is cool, because it actually calls me out for things that I'm not necessarily doing as well as others in Faceit level 10. That being said, it says that I don't always use my utility on death, but I also think that's because a lot of people just chuck their nades at the beginning of rounds, and that's just bad. So I'm going to just say that stat sucks. But everything else is great about this, honestly. And it's a little bit of cope. That's a little bit of cope, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, check out Leetify, guys. Use my link. The referral code is beneath this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, this was a sponsored video. But check out Leetify and check out the stats they've got, because they are giving us all new tools to view Counter-Strike with, and it's opening up our eyes. It's giving us new perspectives here, and that's exactly what we need, because honestly, HLTV stat being the buy-all, end-all stat is not good enough. We need more dialogues. We need more discourse, and that's what Leetify is providing. And even if you don't think the stat is great, tell me. Write it here, because Leetify reads my YouTube comments. They do. They read these comments. So if you have something to say about it, tell them in my comment section. It'll also help the algorithm. So as always, guys, being toxic is a choice.